We are actually in the basement of the Obama Foundation's Presidential Center.
Don't make it sound like we're in the broom closet.
We're not in the basement, but we're in the lowest level that you can get to in the Presidential Center.
They just call it the lower level. They call it the lower level.
It's a media room. It's right next to the public library. There's a beautiful courtyard. There's sun coming in through the haze of the Canadian wildfires. It's a big open room.
It is. It's a beautiful room. There's a lot going on
here.
But
basement does sound like we're tucked away.
Yeah, okay, sorry.
Like, excuse me, I need to get to the mop real quick.
Where did they put those idiots? Oh, down in the basement.
That would be fair, though, if they did. But no, it is a beautiful program room. There's nothing here that's not absolutely stunning when you walk in.
I mean, I've been in some pretty impressive spaces, right? And I've been very humbled to be. You think of some of the stuff NDSU has put together and built in some of those classroom spaces. Boy, oh boy, this place. And we've seen barely any of it. We were outside for just a little bit. We were in their cafe. And I want to make a point here because I know it's a Foodie Friday.
It is a Foodie Friday.
The best brownie I've ever had in my life is here at the Obama Cafe.
It was really good.
The Obama president. And I found out you can order DoorDash from the cafe.
You can?
I found it on toast.
Wow.
Yeah, isn't that neat?
No, it really was
So if you want to
good.
get a hold of that, like, white chicken chili, it looks like they've got. Also, I saw a great little interview that they had with one of the chefs here where he was talking about they were making, first of all, President Obama had to taste everything
yep.
to like get the seal of approval, and he was tasting Barack Obama's mother-in-law's recipe that they were remaking, and his quote was something like, "It's not the same, but it's really good anyway."
Right.
And so it's on the menu here. And actually, they've got a full restaurant that you can make reservations at. We did look into reservations, completely, reserved out here, so we were not able to make it in there.
Well, and I think a lot of the people, we spoke to several people before the show about their visiting the Presidential Center, and people are coming just for the restaurant experience, just for the public grounds experience, because museum tickets are sold out and they are in lines waiting to see if they can get one of these tickets that might be canceled at the last minute. And if they can't, there is so much other things to do. You can even, there's charcoal grills out on the grounds here with picnic tables so that you can have your own family barbecue on the grounds of the Obama Presidential Library, and that stemming from Barack Obama's time in Chicago at the parks, reminiscing about, family grill outs in parks across Chicago. So you can do that here at the Presidential Center.
Amy, we do owe a shout out to a local pizza spot that was going to let us. If they said that you're not allowed to come into the Obama Presidential Center.
Oh my gosh, I'm not going to remember the name. Hold on, I got to look it up.
Oh, because we reached out to a bunch of places saying, hey, listen, if they're too busy, which we would totally understand, could we maybe come to your place and broadcast from there? We asked our hotel, and Amy found this pizza place and got a hold of them, and they had called us back and said, like, listen, you could come over here. And so we said, listen, we will give you a little shout out and we'll let you know how great it was. And I got to admit, I was really amazed at the number of places who've told us how excited they were that some yokels from Fargo were going to make it out to come check this out. And I am I'm humbled by it.
Speaking of Foodie Friday, brought to you by Prime Cut Meats, by the way, on South University Drive. It's the hot spot on that Midtown location of Fargo, which we're still trying to get that to be a thing. Like the University corridor should be called Midtown. We're still working on it. No one's really going with us on it, but we're still there for the journey. Really kind of the only spot to grab anything now that Baby Hornbachers has closed, by the way.
Oh,
I know. Sad.
So sad about
that.
But
Baby Hornbachers. Okay, but on this Foodie Friday brought to you by Prime Cut Meats, still on South University Drive. Go there and get some good stuff for the weekend. Andy Oak, give us a review of the Carol Widman's Candy Company.
Oh my goodness!
Chocolate Chipper, which is a chocolate-covered potato chip. We brought 6 boxes to share with the
Andy is
Obama
from Baltimore. He reeks of Old Bay seasoning. And we wanted to show him what we can do in the Midwest when it comes comes to sweets, and so we gave him a box of Chippers.
Maryland has great food. I'm very proud of the state that I was born in, but I'm also adventurous enough, and if you've read my books, you'll know at the end of each chapter of Unusual for Their Time on the Road with America's First Ladies, Volume 1 and 2, I will tell you where to eat in each town. I just recently spoke this past April at the Truman Little White House in Key West, Florida, which was an incredible place, incredible people, incredible history. And the director there was very keen to point out, I go, now the best hot dogs are right down the street. And I go, okay. She goes, so you should really check out the hot dogs. I go, okay, is there a reason you're telling me about the hot dogs? She goes, well, I read your book. I know you like hot dogs. I go, you did? She goes, and there's also a great Caesar salad. It's such. I go, you really read the book.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I've been around, and my opinion matters very much to myself, of course. But Reese's, however you say it, has my heart. I try all the different flavors. I love peanut butter. I love ice cream and things, and potato chips with every sandwich that I make, whatever. So you're putting the best of both worlds together. You've got a little, beautifully crafted milk chocolate on it. And the key to the Chippers is that I don't know what little magic elves she has working in her kitchen, but they keep the potato chips so crisp. And that's the key, because not even Reese's. You get a bad.
Yeah.
They've got the potato chip Reese's.
Yeah.
And
they're bad.
The chips can be at times a little cardboardy, a little flavorless, so you don't get that salty sweet mix and whatever.
Yeah.
And these are the perfect ratio of salty to sweet to crispy to milky, and it melted in my mouth. And that box will not be going home with me.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be gone.
Listen, we are A-okay with that. And if you need to, they sell it by the pound.
They do,
we'll start shipping it out your way.
Actually, they sell peanut butter specific ones. So we're going to have to hook you up with that
I'm about to go next month in August. I'll be at the 5th Annual Butterfly Days Festival, celebrating the life, legacy, and birthday of First Lady Rosalind Carter. And I'm going to eat my weight in peanut butter ice cream there. And what I do, pro tip, when you're in Plains, sure, you can go and you can get the soft serve peanut butter ice cream like every other regular citizen or whatever, or you can take the First Lady's Man pro tip and ask for a side of their fried peanuts. Then you've got a crunchy soft serve peanut butter ice cream.
Are there any First Ladies? Now we know that Thomas Jefferson has the vanilla ice cream, right?
And oyster ice cream.
Okay, that sounds disgusting. Are there any First Ladies infamous for an ice cream recipe?
Dolly Madison very famously had a cherry ice cream that she was fond of, and also oyster ice cream. Oyster ice cream, and if you look it up, it's not it's a frozen oyster dish, so it's not like traditional ice cream. Or it's not, like bubblegum ice cream is one of my favorites. And there's little chunks of bubblegum in it. It's not like you're chewing on chunks of oyster in a traditional ice cream cup.
Sure.
It's more of a chilled dessert that they called ice cream at the time. But as far as ice creams, you've got the early oyster ice creams are pretty dramatic and remarkable, and the cherry ice cream that Dolly Madison famously.
Dolly Madison's your favorite First Lady, isn't she? Not your favorite.
No,
you don't pick favorites.
Number one, I don't pick, but when people hold my feet to the fire, I have to choose and I have to say something, because saying nothing, coming from Washington D.C., they're like spin, and you're not answering the question, Senator, and you got to, I'm the First Lady's man. I got to give answers, and so I divided up into my favorites, and this actually got me out of a speeding ticket one time. That's another story for another day. Ask me next time we do a big interview. But I divided up by centuries. By the 1700s, Martha Washington is number one. She's always going to be number one. She's the first. There will never be another first. And you put her in a category of by herself. So you pull her out of the mix for sake of being number one, the ultimate, the guru, and the uber First Lady. And then you go to the 1700s. I take Abigail Adams. Progressive thinking even for this day. She had things figured out that we are still struggling with: civil rights, gender rights, just being a good person and writing about it and knowing what was remember the ladies. That's a real letter with a real quote that she wrote to her husband in March 31st, 1776 was when 1776, March, months before the Declaration of Independence. She was urging her husband to remember the ladies. Then in the 1800s, I'll take Lucy Hayes, think, oh my God, I just learned there's a first lady named Lucy Hayes. Lucy Hayes was doing what Eleanor Roosevelt did in the 1900s, in the 1800s. She was going where women didn't go, women of means, women of society, women of privilege, which she wasn't born into privilege, but she was the wife of a general in the Civil War Union Army, Rutherford B. Hayes, and the wife of the governor of Ohio, the first lady of Ohio, and then the first lady of the United States. She would go to veterans facilities, mental hospitals, orphanages, and come back to her husband and say, these are good, we need to replicate these, or these are bad, we need to shut this down or fix it. She was doing that in the trenches work that was really, I mean, think about going into some of these horrible facilities. Some are great, but some are horrible and really need improvement, but that people really get taken advantage of and don't get the funding and the facilities and the care that they need. She's going in there in the 1860s, 70s kind of thing. Then in the 2000s, because of 9/11, because of a lot of things, wait, we got it 1900s.
1900s.
Lou Hoover spoke 7 languages, more languages than any first lady in history. She was self-taught. She designed 2 of the homes that the President and Mrs. Hoover would live in, including their summer White House, the Rapidan Camp House in the Shenandoah Valley, absolutely beautiful, and innovative things. She designed windows that would open up in a certain way to let the breezes come through where these 2 creeks come together. I've stood on the porch. I've stood at her desk and watched where she wrote the letters. She entertained Girl Scouts there, was instrumental in starting the Girl Scouts of America from what she'd seen in London, part of the first cookie drive for the Girl Scouts of America.
Wow, Lou Hoover.
Crazy stuff that people don't know.
Yeah.
People listening just learned there's a first lady named Lou Hoover. in the 2000s, I take Laura Bush, not only because she reminds me of my late mother and Nana, who was born in Oak Park, Chicago, Illinois.
Yeah, there we
Gotta
go.
give a shout out to my Nana. What a sweet, sweet, sweet lady that she was. And she would be very proud and happy that we're here today doing what we're doing. But Laura Bush reminds me of a mixture of my mom and my Nana, my mom's mom. But what she had to do after 9/11 that we all had to do, but Laura Bush had to do it as First Lady. And in our lifetime, hopefully we never see something so horrible and so tragic. And it ended up bringing everyone together. But she went from just wanting people to read and being a librarian, school teacher, and things of domestic policy. She had to go around the world. Still today, she goes around the world. One of our most traveled first ladies, speaking about women's rights, women's education in countries that she couldn't spell, couldn't pronounce the day before 9/11, and that had to change on the global stage to do that. And the necessary things that happened after that are just so monumental for every good, bad, and in between reason. It's really hard to think about someone that had to do something that difficult in that role.
It seems like we should highlight a little bit of Michelle Obama when we come back. Obviously. We are live from the Obama Presidential Center in Chicago, Illinois. Okay, and just real quickly, we want to talk a little bit about Michelle Obama with the First Ladies man, Andrew Oak, who is also live in Chicago, Illinois from us.
Amazing.
Amazing. He flew from Baltimore this morning. We flew from Fargo this morning. We landed at the same time at different airports and then met up at the Presidential Library.
You've been on our show so many times.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to get to see you in
Why
person.
didn't we take like a video of the first
I almost did.
meeting? We should have.
I thought about it when we were coming, but we were hanging up.
I mean,
then a gnat flew by and I got distracted.
I'm sorry, but like how
we can recreate it.
How dreamy. How
delete this part of the show. We'll recreate it. I'm a television producer. We do that crap all the time.
I'm sorry. How dreamy is that we've been doing radio together for years, and the first time we meet is at a presidential library.
I mean, it fits. And thank you to
dreamy.
our mutual friend, Andrea Samari, who made the whole thing possible.
She's our matchmaker.
By introducing. But, it's kind of like, it takes a village where we started off with Hillary Clinton. We were just talking during the break about a couple book tours that I did through Maine. That's because a fraternity brother of mine golfed with the director of libraries in Maine and goes, I got this friend who writes these weird books about first ladies. He's the first lady. And he goes, bring him up. Next thing I know, Stephen King is funding 2 tours through Maine.
What's
happening? I had the biggest lobster roll. It was 2-pound lobster.
Do you know Stephen King is a fan of the weatherman, our meteorologist, Tom Szymanski?
Well, now, maybe he'll hear and he'll be a First Ladies Man fan. Stephen King, I love the Gunslinger series, the Dark Tower series. Your stuff got me reading again. You're a champion. You're a hero.
Okay, we need to talk about Michelle Obama, too, though, because as long as we're here, and we kind of highlighted some of the First Ladies now through our history, but Tell us, in terms of being the First Lady's man and knowing absolutely everything about every First Lady, it feels like, what is the significance of Michelle Obama amongst all of these amazing women?
Michelle Obama is there's a difference between being intelligent and being educated. Michelle Obama is both. There are a few First Ladies. There's a handful of First Ladies that are not only street smart or common sense or naturally intelligent, Martha Washington leading it all off, not having a formal education, but also having that formal education and going as far in education as Michelle Obama has done. What Michelle Obama did, which I thought I would have to think would be very intentional, is that she took a traditional role of First Lady in a modern time. She could have gotten more involved in politics, but did not. She cared for children. Let's move. She put a vegetable garden in, and she's in a position not to make, because let's face it, folks, we all know politics is an ugly, ugly sport, and it gets uglier all the time. And she managed to stay out of it in a way, raise two young girls under the complete judge. I say it 1,000 times. There is no legal obligation to fulfill this role of First Lady just because you married some guy that beat almost every odd known to man and get elected President of the United States. To navigate that under the public eye and raise young children, we criticize them, we judge them on their hairlines, their hemlines, what they feed their kids, what they feed themselves, what they look like, what they wear, just all of it. And to go through it with that grace, but also a modern, youthful quality. She knew her role. She knew where she could promote her role and the things that she wanted to accomplish. Whether putting it right in your face, like with the kids in the garden, or subtly and get some things by there, by going on the talk shows, by being part of. If you remember The Biggest Loser, Michelle Obama went on that show when she was trying to get kids healthier.
I remember that now.
I mean, there's just all kinds of. So she took cues. She was very, very good, still very good. I mean, here's the thing with Michelle Obama. She's still writing a story. She's in the early stages of writing her post-White House story. Some of these post-White House stories, look at Rosalind Carter, look at Eleanor Roosevelt, look at Lady Bird Johnson, look at Barbara Bush, look at Laura Bush, look at all of the Hillary Clinton. I mean, these modern-day first ladies. Jacqueline Kennedy could have gone so much further had the horrible assassination not happened. But these women can do and do so much. Their production company, what they're doing, they've rewritten we were talking about it earlier. There's a grill. There's multiple grills where you can come with your family and cook out and have a picnic on the grounds of the Obama Presidential Center and Library. There's a garden. There's a basketball court. There's community. There's a sledding hill. This is changing the face of the interactive qualities and community building of presidential libraries and museums. And as we get more plugged into these First Ladies and recognize these First Ladies more and more as we progress, the First Lady is represented. And we have not gone upstairs yet to see the full scope of things, but I am confident in saying that we are going to go upstairs and we are going to see a First Lady more represented in a presidential museum and library than we ever have in the history of America.
Okay, let me ask a leading question, because would you say that Michelle Obama was the First Lady to have the depth of knowledge of media that she did? Because I feel like she came out at a time when it was embracing social media. It was embracing that web presence. Not since the day of the fireside chat do I feel we had as unfeathered access to the president's personal life. And I feel like Michelle Obama did a great job with that, including but not limited to her guest star role when she was on shows like Parks and Recreation.
Okay, so yes and no. So here, a First Lady like Michelle Obama, who has been able to take advantage of the technology that was afforded to her by just the time. Now, social media is a double-edged sword. And I say in my live speeches, Michelle Obama and Melania Trump have something in common. Good, bad, or otherwise, they are the first two social media First Ladies. They were here at the time, and because of that, they've been able to promote and do a lot of incredible things on social media, but they've also been under that microscope and that horrible side of social media that just says untrue, horrible, conspiracy theory, even things. We all know what they're out there. My brand isn't to focus on the negative things like that. But horrible things happen on social media. Michelle Obama and Melania Trump have fallen, unwilling and unnecessary victims to all of that. As far as back to your question, now you can go back.
Which again, just to piggyback on what you said earlier, these are people who just happen to be married to the president, and so
there's no training.
Exactly,
you can't
right?
Major in first ladies.
I know.
And although
at least until you start a class.
Working on it.
Are you working on it?
First Ladies 100 and 101, Volume 1 and Volume 2. Professor First Ladies Man at your service. No, so I mean, look at Kennedy and the first televised presidential debate. Kennedy, young, dashing, calm, cool, collective. Nixon, a little bit older, not as calm, sweaty, panicky. We've all seen
sweaty.
He was
in unison.
But then the news cycle of the thing. Gosh, don't even get me started of the different things of where things travel and how they travel. That goes back to the social media of everything. So much of this. Look at Lou Hoover, who I mentioned, my favorite first lady of the 20th century. People don't know who she is because of the Great Depression. The Hoovers didn't cause the Great Depression, and the Hoovers and no one could have solved the Great Depression in 4 years. But you're in that White House, you're in that position, you take the brunt of those situations.
Well, and I think of like Jackie Kennedy taking people, the tour. Right?
She's the only first lady to win an Emmy Award because she could. And she did it in black and white, but she was still wearing a red dress because I've seen it because it aired on Valentine's Day. Never missed a trick.
Look at that.
The only first lady to win an Emmy
is Jacqueline Kennedy. For her NBC, I think it was NBC.
With a sitting president, right? Because I feel like, didn't the Obamas win an Emmy?
Well, they've won just about everything. Grammys and
they're going to EGOT.
But there's audio books. Yeah, someone's going to get a
Tony. Michelle Obama has received one Primetime Emmy Award nomination.
Okay. Well, then Jackie still got it. But here's the thing. Michelle Obama, again, so smart and so strategic, and the way the role has branched out and the way she embraced it, she was able to use technology to give this type of access to her life and her causes and her thoughts, and now her museum and production company. And she's able to take the ball. I mean, Nancy Reagan, Just Say No. She was on Different Strokes. I was a kid of the 80s. Like, everyone knew it. She sat on Mr. T's lap at Christmas time and had a Mr. T doll and was given toys. Charles Barkley and some other guy in the NBA physically picked Nancy Reagan up so she could slam dunk a Just Say No basketball game.
Stop.
And there's a Just Say No board game. So she came from Hollywood and she knew those things, but she didn't have the internet.
Right.
And so the way, and all of this, again, to put Michelle Obama in a position where she does not have, because she didn't get, actively is not the right word. She didn't get embroiled in the politics and policy of the day. She didn't run for office and get elected to an office like Hillary Clinton. Then you're free game. You have been paid. You have been elected. Someone can tell you what to do. Now, she also got the first female nomination of a major political party in the United States, and could have been our first official female president, because then there's the story of Edith Wilson, another story for another day. But the way Michelle Obama did it and crafted it, but she did it also in the way that all of these first ladies, they give up some of their lives and their selves. Michelle Obama said, we're going to go from one of the most modern to the first here. Michelle Obama said she looked out the White House window sometime and she just wanted to go skydiving or ride a motorcycle. Just recently, she said in an interview that she's just now driving a car again for the first time and having alone time with her daughters in the car, where Secret Service is not too far behind and they're driving along with her, but they're not in the car. So she said for the first time in her children's lives since becoming First Lady, she's been able to talk about what music is on the radio and just drive along and go to a store, and have a semi-real life, regular life. Martha Washington wrote to a niece in the 1790s that being the wife of the president was like being a prisoner of state. for the personal life that she'd given up, the public expectations and duties she had to perform. Number one, before internet, before electricity, before indoor plumbing, before CNN, MSNBC, Fox, ABC, NBC, everything. Before any of that, before even really, mass communication or newspapers or a mail system or smartphones, everything. Martha Washington, her life had been compromised. Now times a bazillion with all the technology and everything's out there, but controlling that message and being in a position where she can have this post-White House career, this nonpartisan, this communal type of vibe and things that you get here that's everywhere walking around. I mean, you feel it from the sledding hill to the garden to the basketball court to the leadership thing that's going on across the hall for us. We have this awareness, and they're willing to embrace it and work with all the different organizations that they are to continue to do so much good. And I throw it back to it's so. I mean, take it from my late mother. If she were here today, she'd tell you being a mom is hard and raising kids is hard. Now imagine doing it with everyone judging every aspect of your life. And the Obamas, President and Mrs. Obama, were two of the best parents of young children, and that's a big role, because you can't leave your family entirely behind when you go into that and become the first lady of the country. And they did it with such grace. And the Bushes, had young daughters in the same, and it's probably the reason why they're such good friends right now.
Yeah.
We haven't even touched on that.
Oh,
Good friends.
The Obamas and the Bushes and the friendship that has woven between them.
It's absolutely remarkable.
It's so beautiful.
Wonderful
and
to see.
One of the things that I remember from Michelle Obama's time in the White House is her being interviewed about how does she do it all? How do you do it all? You're raising kids and you're doing this and you're doing that and you're here and you're there and you're everywhere and she has stunning style and everyone was commenting on that. And she just simply remarked, I have a staff. If every woman had a staff, they could do this.
Yeah.
I have a staff. And that's so real. I mean, was there another first lady to admit, listen, the only reason I'm able to do this is because of all of these people standing behind me?
Not in that way, and that she wasn't answered. Here's a modern Michelle Obama real life example of how much influence these women have over the world. They don't even realize, and we, the people, certainly don't even realize. I knew this because I was the first lady's man. I knew that Michelle Obama appeared on countless magazine covers in this, and I had noticed, because it was unusual, it was very fetching, it was very appropriate, it seemed very elegant and matched the outfit of the time. She had her nails painted a grayish purple. And I started walking around in my daily life, and I'm a pretty observant guy. I'm horrible at math. I'm a horrible speller. Anyone that's read my books will know. I know there's typos. I know what page. Even in chapter 1, Martha was spelled wrong in Martha Washington. So we'll get there. We'll fix that. But in any event, I would see a female friend. I typically don't approach strangers and ask them personal questions like this, but I would say, what an unusual nail polish color. That's really interesting. Why did you choose that? Oh, I don't know. I just kind of saw it on the shelf and it looked interesting. There's people still wearing that. That's what Jacqueline Kennedy changed the way women wear their hats because she thought her eyes were too wide apart. She said it's difficult to find glasses. She said she had a broad forehead, and when she wore that pillbox hat like women traditionally did, like a Mamie Eisenhower or anyone leading on back to all the different headgear and stuff, so she put it on the back of her head because she thought it balanced out her wide forehead and widespread eyes. Jacqueline Kennedy, who many, you don't have to go far to find someone to say one of our prettiest, best looking, model quality, just gorgeous. She's celebrated for her fashion, her beauty, her style, all of that stuff. She was very self-deprecating and didn't like her eyes, didn't like her forehead, all this. She boots it back. Women are still wearing hats like that. Women are still getting their nails painted in the same color as Michelle Obama. There's so much things, and even the people that criticize a first lady for what she did. And this goes back to Dolly Madison got criticized walking around as a widow in Philadelphia in the 1800s of having a neckline that was too low. And I mean, it probably barely came below her clavicle.
Right.
Are these clavicles? Your
collarbone.
Is a clavicle, I believe. I did very well in anatomy and physiology.
I bet you did.
Just not math.
Yeah, just not math. Yeah, no. But in any event, so these women have been judged the entire time. But again, more media, more communication to this. But they influence so much, even down to like, there's probably a lot of people listening going, wow, I had that nail polish. I had no idea Michelle Obama started. She's the first one that I saw do it. And people change their hair to match her hair and clothes. And why they wear the fashions that they do. They wore
do you remember the opening of the Presidential Center that we are sitting in right now when it opened up on June 19th and they had the whole the clothing that all of the Obamas were wearing that day were like selling out on the website. You know what I mean? Like every dupe of the shoes that Sasha was wearing were selling out on every website.
What was she wearing at the inaugurations though? Was it J. Crew or was it
yes,
Ann Taylor?
She was very known for wearing
American,
J. Crew.
It must have been J. Crew.
It must have been J. Crew. But I know a lot of her pieces, her iconic pieces, are here at the museum. Many of her iconic dresses, the green inauguration dress, the dress in which she was painted in that portrait that's now infamous. I mean, all of these like iconic Michelle Obama
and that
dresses.
Lookbook, the
yes.
look.
That's a new book.
That's a really, so this is another thing that Michelle Obama seems to be remarkable at in ways that other first ladies have not been able to as successfully, is that Michelle Obama can push forward as a strong, independent, new age woman of the millennium with in the 21st century with valuable things and philanthropies and theories and thoughts and causes and all this other stuff. But she can also harken back to the traditional of, we do celebrate their fashion. We do celebrate their China. We do, because the other thing, we the people are very hypocritical.
Yeah,
we will celebrate one for what we criticize another.
I
but
think
Michelle
what
Obama gets to do both.
She stays relevant in pop culture.
You
know what I mean?
So.
Like, and I don't know that that's been a precedent set by other first ladies, like in the pop culture sense of like the style and the podcasts and
she's young, she's hip. She does cool, fun things.
Okay, real quick before we take a break here at the top of the hour, we've got news to get to, but someone wanted to know briefly if we can do it in a minute and a half here, the difference between a presidential center and a presidential library.
Yeah. Okay, so a library holds the papers. The museum holds the artifacts. There is some crossover, and typically the historical sites are the houses, the locations, and the things where presidents and thus first ladies got their start. So a foundation, which is a .org, will take the papers and the center and the activities, and then the federal government in National Archives and Records will be more of the museum that documents the physical pieces.
And really in the modern day of today, we have centers because of just the way the world is now,
Well, there's the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Center, and they'll tell you they're the first, and technically they were the first for the public presidential library and museum. It's now, I don't think they called it that when they first opened it, but it is now the Rutherford B. Hayes Presidential Center. You've also got the President Dwight D. Eisenhower Museum, Library, and Boyhood Home. The Nixon Boyhood Home is on the site of the Nixon Foundation and Library. The Herbert Hoover's Boyhood Home is on. People have raised these homes to put them on the things, but these centers are more expansive. And like I say, the Obamas have been able to redefine and expand what a center means, because they got grills, a sledding hill, a garden, and a basketball court. I mean, what could be more? And where they chose, that location is very specific, and those needs
here,
for those things.
Not that location, this location. We're here. We are live in Chicago. We are at the Obama Presidential Center. That's Andrew Oak, the First Lady's man.